It was shaped like a cat, it was a present from my brother. I read a lot of books, but I couldn't see between the lines. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind.
And we're live.
Look at that.
Just like
I
that.
took down some of my art because we're doing some work in this room,
Yeah.
and it almost looks like my wall is a continuation into your wall with the bricks.
Oh, yes, it does. Look at that. That's interesting. Yesterday I
So
was playing
but
around
your
with it.
wall's fake, right? Your bricks are fake.
Mine are
That's a
fake. I mean, it's
house.
actually real walls in my house. It's just I'm not in that room.
Okay, it works great, and it gives you the magic coffee cup that's invisible sometimes.
Yes, here I am. But I think this one might actually see. That's a
Yeah,
place
yeah, you
called.
can see through the middle of it though. You can see through the middle of it.
Yep. So Gibson
Yep.
Donuts. You ever heard of it?
No,
It's
you know,
it's a guy in Memphis from New Orleans who makes the most delicious freaking old school donuts. It's a terrible place to go because the donuts are
I
so
try
good.
to stay away from donuts because I love them so.
If you're ever in
And
Memphis, though, my God, Gibson's Donuts, the best.
when I was working at the deli in Brooklyn back in the 80s, my boss, Dennis Alestra, big tall Italian guy, he was hilarious, he looked like you'd expect a guy in Brooklyn that owned a deli to look. He had, his hair was parted down the middle, even though it was like 70s style, even though we were in the mid 80s. And he had the Italian horn, and he was just a character. And what the hell story was I telling? What were we talking about?
I talked about donuts and people in the guy.
Oh, so I'd never had like really fresh coffee cake in the Northeast is like a real thing, man. I mean, it's like comes straight from the bakery, and it's just it's so awesome. But I'd never had it before growing up in New Orleans. You have beignets, you have different things, but we didn't really have like that thick coffee cake they have up in the Northeast. So we had some guy bringing it in the morning, still fresh out of the oven. So I'd have a little piece of that with my coffee. And like the third day, he walked in and he just smiled and he goes, "Hey, Paulie, I know you like that coffee cake, but once on the lips, forever on the hips."
Right? And you're
So
like,
whenever I reach for that donut, I hear Dennis's voice. Once on the lips, forever on the hips.
I wish I could kick. You said you kicked sugar, right?
Well, I think sugar has kicked me.
Well,
It
obviously, it
kicked me
kicks us
around
all.
for all of my life. Uh, but I did. I gave it up like 2 months ago. I still like if I'm having dinner with friends and they've gone to the trouble of making dessert, I'll have dessert because they made dessert for you, went over it, and they don't know that you're, you know, deciding to give up sugar. I'm not holy about it or anything. I'm not like I don't do anything strictly.
Right.
You know, I'm rock and roll. I do things loosely, whether
Yes.
it's music or life. And I try to have fun and I try not to hurt people. And occasionally I don't have fun. Occasionally I hurt people.
My grandfather told me moderation is the key. It's always everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
Even
Um,
moderation.
Before we get too deep in the show and Louise calls, I wanted to say, I know you don't do Facebook much, but the legendary Aaron Neville announced his retirement on Facebook yesterday
I heard. I
from
heard.
touring in the road. Yeah. And it was a beautiful letter he sent to the world, saying he enjoyed it, and it was a blessing to be with his brothers, traveling, playing music, and but that the pandemic taught him that time's precious, and what time he has left, he wants to spend with the people he loves in a less hurried way. It was well put, and it's just I love him. I've seen him sing since I can remember. It was like a holy moment for me whenever he would sing in the Neville Brothers show. I mean, I love the whole band, but I can remember being, young at Tipitina's, back in the early 80s, and I'd be waiting like the funk's great, but I can't wait to hear Aaron. That's
Right.
really how I felt about it. I mean, I loved the band and, loved Art's voice, loved Cyril's voice, but it would always be, okay, now Aaron's singing. And that's when I would really sort of perk up because his voice was otherworldly. It was like from the angels. And I remember I we got to meet him, Cowboy Mouth. We played a festival in Seattle early on, like 93 maybe. And it was just, yeah. Early on in 93, we played this festival in Seattle called Bumbershoot. Really big festival, back then. I don't know if they still have it. It was a fantastic festival. I hope they do. And I got like met Joan Baez, met Jim Croce's son AJ when he was just starting out, geeked out on his dad, which I'm sure he'd gotten sick of. And we go to catch the shuttle back to the airport, and there's Aaron Neville standing waiting for a ride. So somebody from my group says, "Hey, Aaron, you need a lift?" And he looks at us and he's pissed off. He goes, "Yeah, the brothers left me." But somehow Aaron got left at the airport. I don't know how. So we said, "Well, look, we got a van, taking us to the airport. You want a ride?" So he gets in, and we're all, fans. We don't know what to say. It's Aaron freaking Neville. What do you say to a legend? He's just giving him a ride. We're lucky to be in the van with him, is how we all felt. And so we're kind of all like making eyes at Fred, like, "Hey, man, you're the guy, you're the one that does all the talking on stage. You got to say something." So finally, Fred says, "Hey, Aaron, I really love your version of Circle B Unbroken." He says, "Thank you." Fred says, "You ever do it live?" And he goes, "No, can't." And Fred goes, "Oh, is it too high?" And Aaron goes, "No, too deep."
Wow,
Yeah.
right. It says, yeah.
Yeah.
That is, that sounds like Aaron Neville. When I worked with him too, he was really just nice. And I remember we did, I went and did a couple of shows. I filled in for a friend last summer. Well, not last summer. It would have been the summer before. And anyway, there was this lady who came up as I was walking from the soundboard backstage after the show. She says, my Aaron used to, when my mom was on her dying bed, Aaron called her. And she had been fans forever, and she wanted to say hello, and so this is my first time working with him, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know. I mean, do people just I know the game, so
Right.
I'm like, all right, and I go backstage, and I'm like, hey, there's this lady outside. She says her mom, tell him the story or whatever, and he goes, oh yeah. I said, you know who she is? And he goes, nah, but you can send her back, and
He just did that for people.
he just did that for people. He was just a sweet guy, and
Still is. He's
still
not.
is.
He's not gone. He's on his farm with his little tiny dog Apache, which is awesome because Aaron's a huge man. If you've ever stood next to him, he's a big fella, and he's got this little dog that like fits in the crook of his arm that he loves, that he adores. So he's with his wife and his dog on the farm, and he's happy as can be. He's still going to record. He said.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It was always a dream of mine. Like I didn't have aspirations to really be a star. Like when Cowboy Mouth was starting out, we were in Nashville doing some recording demos, and Griff was dating a girl who got us tickets to see Tom Petty at the big amphitheater for the Great Wide Open Tour in '92. And so we're sitting on the hill at the amphitheater, and great spectacular stage set with Tom Petty, but in my mind, I'm thinking, man, Nancy Griffith's playing at the Bluebird Cafe tonight. And I sure wish I could go to that show, because that was my kind of thing. So I mentioned this to Griff, and he looks at me and he smiles. He goes, "Where would you rather be playing tonight? The Bluebird Cafe to a sold-out house, which is like, 200 people, or this is amphitheater?" And I went, "No question, Bluebird Cafe. If I could have 200 people listening to me, that would make me as happy as could be." And he turned to Freddie. He goes, "What about you, Freddie?" And Freddie goes, he like got serious and went, "Bluebird Cafe." And Griff looked at him and he just grinned and he went, "Freddie." And Fred smiled and he went, "Right down there on that stage."
Right.
Great. Anyway, I'm tangential this morning for some reason. I don't know what that had to do with where we were, but that's how we got there.
I was going to say, Kevin came on and said, good morning. It's best weather in New Orleans ever. Wish it was Jazz Fest, beaten path playing in the paddock, eating some oysters right there. Yes, Kevin, down with you.
It's weird because I had dinner last night with the great music writer John Swenson, who's in town for a visit, and his wife Barbara, and they had us set up outside. His brother Eddie lives in the above house, and he's a great chef, so they had it set up like it was a restaurant. Candle on their outside table, and Eddie was bringing out the food that he was making. It was a fantastic night. But we both remarked on the fact that this is the second week of May, and the night's still cool. That's like, I don't know. I don't remember that happening in my life.
No, it's weird, right?
It's a little weird, but I'll take it. It's cool this morning. It's just beautiful.
I'm definitely.
It's like 72 degrees.
This is, it's funny. When I was living in Nashville, it's one thing we kind of miss. This is the way Nashville is. Even in the summer, it's like it gets hot during the day, but in the mornings it's cool. and after about
I
6
remember.
o'clock, it's cool. So it's like a 20-degree swing. It seems in Nashville. You don't have those
Yeah,
nights
it's
where
up
you're
in the
sitting there.
mountain. You know?
Yeah. So it's actually the plateau. They call it the plateau because it's like
Plateau. Yeah, well,
yeah.
you know, I'm from Louisiana. It's a
Right.
mountain to
It's a
me.
mountain for us. It's the mountains, right? No, they're like
And,
Knoxville. That's the mountains. This is the
well,
plateau.
you know, the first time I ever got on a mountain is Cowboy Mouth was still traveling in the nun bus, the Little Sisters of the Poor bus, and we drove out to see Adam Brazy in Colorado. We were on our way to California, and Adam said we could stay with him, and he was going to teach us how to ski, Keystone. Now, a couple of us, Griff had been skiing before, and a couple of people had been skiing, but I'd never even seen a mountain. You know, it was like 30 years old, never seen a mountain. And so we get there, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome, you know. So he gives us like a 20-minute lesson on the bunny slopes, you know, of how to snow plow if you want to go slower, and just quick lesson. And then he's off, man. He's a great skier. He's going with his friends down the Blacks, you know. And so me and it was Chris Finney, who was our soundman at the time, and he was only 19. He was just a kid. And Griff and this girl that was with us. And we get up to the top of the mountain, and the girl had skied before, so she kind of takes off, and Griff had skied, and they kind of take off, and they're like 20 feet or 50 feet away from us, and they say, come down here for a picture. And I'm like, I'm not fucking moving, man. I can't move. I'm just gotten off the ski lift, and that's as far as I'm going. There's a mountain. How am I going to get down this mountain, you know? So I make them walk back up, you know, the 20 feet back to where Chris and I are, and we get a picture of the four of us at the top of the mountain. And then Chris just turns to us. He goes, I'm going back down. He takes the gondola. And I almost went with him, you know? It's like he's so scared. He just said, fuck this. I'm taking the gondola back down. And I almost was looking at him thinking, oh man, I want to go. But the girl was with me. So I didn't want to, you know, like go with Chris and leave her to ski with Griff.
Right.
So I figure I remember Jack Kerouac saying, if you're ever scared on a mountain, just remember, you can't fall off a mountain. You can only fall down. So I just started skiing, and they both tried to stay with me for a while, you know, but all I could really do was either snowplow or go about 20 feet and fall down. That's my style was I'd fall down on a zigzag, and then I'd get up and I'd go another zigzag and fall down, and I'd just fall down. So finally I'd tell them both, like, just leave me, just fucking leave me. It's not fun for you. It's not fun for me. Just go. And so I'm finally like, once I'm alone, I'm a little braver, and I'm kind of staying up longer, and I finally feel like, oh wow, I've stayed up for like a whole thing, and then there's a pass where it's no longer a green friendly slope, it's a crossing, and there's people flying through this crossing, and I see it coming, and I'm just thinking, okay, just don't fall and you'll be fine, just don't fall and you'll be fine. And of course, as soon as I make it to the pass, I'll wipe out. And I remember my arm, the pole was in the ground, and I kept sliding, and my arm just jerked above my head. And this little like 6-year-old kid comes shooping over to me, and he looks down and goes, "Hey, mister, you okay?" And I went up and, "No, I'm not. Leave me alone."
Nice.
Oh, eventually, I got good enough to be a really bad skier, but we got it free every time, so we kept doing it for like 10 years. We go back to Colorado, play, and ski for free. And if you ski badly for long enough, you can actually get better. So Rob
So,
Savoy and I were good ski mates because we both like going slow and don't rush us. Y'all go to your blues and go and be giddy and jump things. And Rob and I'll be putting down the thing. Sonia was good for that too when she came on. She and
so you ever do one behind a boat? Just out of curiosity, you ever water ski?
oh, I have.
So, all right, to me, I've done both, and to me, the difference between water skiing and skiing on a mountain, as you just described, was at least on the boat, it's pulling you the speed you need to be going to maintain. And as long as, I mean, you literally can just sit there and hold yourself still behind a boat
Really
and be
can't say
okay.
which one I like less because
But you have no
I'm
control
not
down a mountain. You can start getting
I'm
going
not what you
fast,
call graceful.
right?
So while you see it as you have control because you know how to stay up on skis. I've spent a good, I mean, I've gotten up on skis and stayed up. It's not pretty. It's a lot of tension. It's a lot of, and But I'd say at least half as much time as I've been up on skis, I've been dragged face first in earth full of water, trying to get their attention and say, please stop the fucking boat, because nobody
Doubting.
told me to let go of the fucking rope. If you fall, let go of the rope. Nobody said that.
You never saw Happy Days and Fonzie jump the shark? Come on. You gotta know. You gotta.
I have to say, when watching athletic things, being non-athletic, it's not like I was looking at the mechanics of how it was done. You know,
So the mechanics are wasted on you. All those guys are like, well, you have to do it this way because this is the way it would be in real life. You're like, it doesn't matter. You could wave a magic wand, and I would still be like, wow, okay, look at that. They just all right.
no, like I was dating this girl one time that was an athlete. This was I was up like 30, and she says, "Oh, you want to go to the park and have a catch? It's a pretty day." I'm like, "Yeah, I got a glove. I can have a catch." And she throws me the ball, and I throw it back, and she just held up her hand and she goes, "Hang on a second. If you're gonna throw with me, I'm gonna have to show you how you throw like a girl."
I can. It's hard to catch when somebody's throwing it all kind of crazy. So I get
Look,
it.
man, when I was a kid, I played baseball because my mom had 11 kids, and I was 10, and my brother Johnny was 11. So we had to play Little League because she needed us out of the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she was done. My father was dead, and just get out, go play Little League. My older brothers were off, chasing girls, and
Right.
God knows what. All the older ones had jobs and were out in the world. So we didn't really have like anybody to instruct us. And my nickname in Little League was the strikeout king, and I wasn't the pitcher. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't any good, you know?
How was your
And
brother? I
so
imagine Johnny was good, right?
Johnny was better than me. He was, he's just better than me in every way. He's a better athlete, a better person. He's a better husband. I
He is
always
a
looked up to my
sweetheart.
younger brother.
He's a
He is a
sweet.
sweetheart.
And how did he
He's
get so
solid as a
big?
rock.
I mean, you guys next to each other. It's like,
It's funny you should say that, but like when we were little, we did what little brothers do. We used to fight all the time. And he was smaller than me. I was 3 years older, so I'd pretty often get to pin him down or whatever it was, and give him the noogies or whatever. And I remember when I was around like 10 or 12, and Johnny and I were fighting, and I had him pinned down. And my older brother Joe, who never laid a hand on me. I mean, I can't say that about all my brothers and sisters, but I can say my brother Joe never laid a hand on me. He knocked me off of my brother Johnny, and he pinned me down, and he put his face right in my face, and all he said was, "He's smaller than you right now. He's not always going to be smaller than you. Think about that." And he let me go. And within like a year, 2 years, Johnny was taller than me and built more solidly than me, and I was glad that we had stopped fighting. He
yes.
kicked my ass. It was great advice. I never forgot. Joe, forgive me that advice. I'm still grateful to this day. I hope whoever is watching that knows my brother Joe will tell him I'm grateful for the advice. Anyway, so Little League. So when I was 10, I actually got good enough to play right field, which is the suckiest position on the team. And you couldn't, when you're 10, you can't play Little League anymore. You got to try out for the 10-year-old team. It's the first time you got to try out. And I actually made the team. I was probably going to be on the bench, but I made the team.
Right.
And I had a chance to go to Trinity Episcopal School, had a summer program for underprivileged kids where they taught them theater and karate and, stuff I was actually interested in, like theater. I could go to and learn theater. So it was a choice between, everybody was like, my teammates were like, "You made it, man." And I just found out that I could go and do this. And I was like, "Yeah, y'all have fun." I'm going to go. And I played, it was my first time on stage that summer. Actually, I went and played the Artful Dodger in Oliver.
Oh, no kidding.
And once I got on stage and sang, I knew I'd made the right choice. Athletics was not for me. And that's where I wanted to be for the rest of my life. And that's where I was.
More sensitive guy. Like, I'm doing sensitive.
I'm very sensitive, Mikey. I'm so sensitive that I'm too sensitive from like this is hard to even talk about with you.
Speaking of you and your brother being opposites, because like he's huge, right, and you're smaller, but his disposition. It's like sometimes I wonder if you
Yeah,
guys have
he's
the
the
same
opposite of my
genes.
disposition.
Yeah.
He's solid as a rock, and I'm all over the fucking place. And it's always been like that. He's great with money, and I can't hold a dollar in my hands, without giving it away. That's just me. When we were kids, I was like 15, so that would have made him 12. I wasn't even 15. I was like 14. He would have been 11 years old. We move out to Kenner, and we decide we want English racers because my brother Andrew, who taught me to play guitar, had an English racer. He was so hip, man. It was like 1974 or something, and nobody had that kind of bike, with the turn down handlebars and gears and shit. Everybody had beach cruisers still or banana seats. So we wanted English racers so we could be like Andrew. And there was a shop a few blocks away that had them. And so Johnny came up with a plan that we were going to mow lawns for the summer and save our money. And at the end of the summer, we'd each buy an English racer. I'm 13 years old. I'm 12 years old. I already know I'm shit with money. So I say to my 11-year-old brother, 10-year-old brother, all right, but you're going to have to hold my money for me so I don't spend it, right? And so Johnny's like, if you make a bargain with him, that's the bargain, and he's going to stick to it. If you said you want the help, he's going to give you the help. And it was tough love because like 2 weeks in, I'm caving, I want to go buy some candy. I want to go buy whatever the hell it was I wanted to buy. And I say, hey, man, I want some of my money. And he goes, no. I'm like, it's my money, give it to me. And he's like, no, you told me to hold it till the end of the summer. I'm holding it. We're going to get those bikes. I get so mad at him, but he held on to the money. And at the end of the summer, we got the damn bikes.
Yep. That does remind me of the way he sort of rolls. It's like, I have a goal.
And he's smarter than me too.
Uh-huh.
When we were kids, like I said, we used to fight, right? So one morning, my mom, we didn't have a lot of money, so breakfast was a glass of milk with vanilla extract and a raw egg and sugar. Mix it up, protein, off to school with you. So she just made that, and we're sitting there with our frothy egg drinks in front of us, and we're still fighting about whatever it was we were fighting about when we were getting dressed. And I say something to him that pisses him off, and he takes his full drink and throws it right in my face. And I'm so mad that before I can do anything, I want to kill him. I'm 12 or 13 years old. I'm like, I'm going to kill you. My mother walks in and she sees me dripping, and we only had a couple of uniforms and she had to try and stagger the cleaning. And she goes, you little sucker, look what you did to your uniform. And she hits me and she says, clean up and go change now. She's going to be late for school. And I leave the room and I'm shaking with rage. I can't believe Johnny did that. And I get yelled at. It's unbelievable. So I go back and I change, and I'm furious with him. So I get back in the kitchen. My mom's got another drink waiting for me, and we're sitting there, and the fight starts again. And I say the wrong thing, and he takes his full drink right in my face again. My mother was so pissed at me, man. And so I get hit again, and I have to go change. I'm like this little bastard. Nothing ever happens to him. So we get to school, and I make it through the school day. We're like third grade or whatever, fourth grade, however old you are, fifth grade. And I get punished because I was a little smart ass. Johnny's always the good kid, and I was always a chip on my shoulder smart ass. So I get punished that day, and I'm clapping erasers with my friend John Stack. And he looks over, and he gets curious, and he goes, hey, what's that white stuff in your ear? Milk's still in my ear, man. I was mad all over again. I was pissed at him again.
Yeah, I can't imagine him throwing drinks in your face like that, though. That's kind of funny.
But calmly, not angrily, just looked at me with no expression and just right in my face.
Still.
No expression.
Still. Oh, by the way, I heard about, there's speaking of superhero stuff, there's a new show, Jupiter's something, on Netflix.
Okay, I'm trying to save the superhero talk for when Luis shows up.
Yeah, he probably hasn't watched this show yet. And the only reason why I mentioned it, you might be interested in this. So they've been mashing up all these superhero things. That's the thing now, right? We do. So this is supposed to be a mashup with Turner classic movies. Like this particular one, and apparently they did it well. And there's a good portion of it that sort of has that feel of the Cary Grant, the old movies, the way it's acted. These characters actually exist in that time period, and so it's sort of presented.
Now,
I heard it was well done.
Then you're getting into redoing art, though. You're taking somebody else's art and inserting it into your art to make it new art.
Dude, what do you think the Stones and the Beatles and everybody else did? Come on, it's the same thing.
They did it themselves, though. They didn't just take digitally somebody else, literally somebody
else.
Oh,
no, it's not that. You're misunderstanding. No, they're doing it themselves. Okay. They're not taking.
Okay, so it's actors.
It's actors. Yeah.
That style.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They're not changing stuff that's already. But
You're
that's
into all that new stuff, that meta existence or whatever it was that we were talking
meta.
about.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
meta, yeah. Sometimes you go a bridge too far for me, Mikey.
Well, this is just sort of taking that style of movie making, really, and applying and that
All
side
right.
of characters and applying it to the superhero genre as a mashup. So
I want you to know I've studied up now on some of the Marvel stuff, so I'm prepared for you guys.
yeah, yeah, I hear
Lu-
that. So Luis's people can stop getting so angry at you.
Well, I learned quickly not to post really obvious questions on his page, and then he gifted me the Disney subscription, and he said watch the Marvel movies in order. So here's well, I'll wait till he comes
Yeah,
on
yeah,
because I find out my education was a little spotty, and
yeah.
we'll talk about it when Luis comes on. But anyway,
I saw this video,
it's
by the way, of this woman watching Infinity War again. Now she had watched it when it came out, but she just watched it again, and she's sobbing. Like the picture is her crying, and she's
right.
like, "Yes," and she's like, "Watching Infinity War again." Part two. It's like these two 30-minute things where she's sort of, she's watching it and just, you know, collapsing in
So
tears.
I got to tell you, having Robert Redford, because I didn't see which one is Robert Redford in? He's in.
Winter Soldier. Yes.
That's why. First of all, that explained a lot about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. In fact, you see a lot of the same characters that show up in that
Right.
one, and
If I had
yes,
just seen that movie,
yes. And by
I
the way, it's
probably would
my
have
one of my favorites. It
had
reminds
that
you of.
show.
It's like Marathon Man, right? I mean,
It's
that's what
pretty
it's.
awesome. It's a
Yeah,
great one.
it's a well
But
done.
having
It's
Robert Redford in it was, I thought, here they've really upped the game. They
yes,
got an Academy Award winner, multiple Academy Award winner, playing. At first, I thought the benevolent good guy, and then he turned out to be the bad guy. And because I was like, I wonder why he's not in more. And then that's why he's not in more.
right.
So now I'm watching. I was
But he
watching
does show up
something.
in Endgame. Actually, he does a cameo in Endgame.
There's the next another famous actor is the head of the thing. Is it? I can't remember who it is now. So I'm thinking, well, he's
Samuel
got to be a bad guy.
Jackson, or
No, Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury. I
right,
got
right.
that now.
Gotcha. Okay, okay.
But there's the head of the white politician guy.
Oh,
That's
Larry Sanders. You're talking
not Larry
about
Sanders,
okay,
but he got busted already. No,
Marshall.
I'll
Yeah.
Luis might know when he shows up. Anyway,
If he shows up, By the way, guys, we don't.
well, he
Luis
might
is
he might be
MIA.
working.
It's
I know
true.
he didn't do the pre-show, and his boss gave him time to do the show during his work day, as long as it didn't take too long, and as long as he didn't discuss business, which
Gotcha.
Luis was like, clearly he doesn't watch your show because there's
Yeah.
no business being
There's no,
discussed
right.
here. We're giving each other the business, but that's about it.
Right. Gibson Donuts, guys. Don't forget. Go to Memphis. Get some
What would they
donuts.
sponsor you or
All right.
something? What's going on with that?
Well, no. Right. So, right. Guys, you have to tell us. Like, we are. You guys like coffee? Obviously, the whole premise of the show is another cup of coffee. Now, I know it's about conversation, having a nice. But wouldn't it be nice to have some New Orleans brewed coffee wherever you are now? Just think about it. You know.
Oh, you're good.
So we're approaching a couple of, locally French truck coffee, community coffee. And then, you guys, what we're hoping to do is get you guys a discount code where you just kind of go, you order your thing and then put in your discount code. They always have discount codes. It could be another cup of coffee, ACOC. I figure we're ACOC, and then get your discount. And if you guys think you'd be interested in buying wonderful New Orleans coffee at a discount, chime in, let us know. And,
Now, the thing I like about this is Mikey's promotional idea, and I love it, is that the people that are watching us probably do drink coffee, but they're probably watching mostly because they know one of us, they're friends or
right.
whatever. But see, we could definitely get more viewers because people that really like coffee are coffee addicts. Like I have an old friend, Cindy Lou Who, on Facebook, been knowing her since the 80s. I don't think she watches our show because she works in the day. And she, she's an older person. She's not interested in our shenanigans. She's not a friend. She doesn't have to tune in. But if she could get some discount on her coffee, she's one of the biggest coffee addicts I know. Oh, yeah. We
So
could
we
draw
might.
her in like a fish, man. We'll
Yeah.
reel her in.
We'll
I
have
know
unique
I have a few
codes for
friends.
different shows, right? Unique ones, It'll have to be you know.
Yeah, when the codes come out, let me know because I'll be posting that on Facebook. Tune in for your code. No
That's
codes
right.
on Facebook.
No.
Tune in.
You have to
So
hang out for your code. That's right.
we'll at least get the view. We'll get. What do they say? Is it not the click? The whatever they call it. The clickbait. Yeah,
The
we'll get the
clickbait,
click.
yeah. We'll get the click. And by the way, I see Luis actually showed up. Look at him.
Let's bring him on then. We got to
Yeah,
get
bring him
going.
on. Let's get him on. Let's see. He just looked up, going, wait a second. Hey, what's up,
Luis.
Hey guys,
Luis?
How you guys doing?
We're doing all right. We were worried about you today. I guess I shouldn't have been. You know what you're doing by now.
Oh, I was listening and working at the same time. So
But I
once
didn't.
I heard
It's a
that,
very
there's
exciting
that
day
cue. What's that?
I didn't see you though.
because, like, ever since we started doing this, you and Mikey have been speaking like a language all your own. And then I posted some obvious questions on your Facebook page and got lambasted by your friends and my friends alike
I would say
for
the,
my lack
the
of
ones that
knowledge.
lambasted you were the sterols. Okay, so that was Mike. He's the one that went off
Well,
on
that's
you.
my friend, but then you gifted me the Disney subscription and you gave me the advice: follow the Marvel trail from the beginning in order. So I started doing it, and here's what I learned: a few things.
Okay.
Okay, I had never seen either of the Captain America movies. The first one, I saw like a couple of months ago because we talked about it. I didn't
Right.
know there was a second one called Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which would have
Yeah.
explained a lot about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier to me. You see, I would have never gotten confused about the Falcon and the Snowman had I just watched the second Captain America movie. So
Okay.
that was a light bulb moment. That was like, oh my goodness, now I see what's going on here. Then I see, oh, there's a Thor movie. I remember when you tried to get me to watch Thor Ragnarok, and I
Yep.
tried like 3 or 4 times, and I kept texting you and going, or I'd see you in Chicago, and I'd go, I'm not getting that movie, man. I'm just I don't like Thor. I don't like this movie. I'm not. And you were like, just give it another try. So finally, I watched it, and I said, okay, I see. It's not my favorite, but it's a fun movie. I didn't realize there were two Thor movies before that one. I thought that was the first Thor movie. So I had a really skewed version of Thor and Loki. And then I have to tell you, I still don't like Thor all that much
Okay.
because I was more like Loki. I was the little Weasley kid that got beat up by the Thors.
Right.
So he's throwing his brawn around and being all blonde and shit. I don't want to hang out with that. I want Loki. He's kind of funny. He's got a wit, and
Uh,
he's a nice dresser. He's not showing his ninnies
He's
all over
one
the
of the most
place.
well-liked villains because of his charm. People
But I
love him.
know, and Thor, I don't know why Thor's out there showing his ninnies to everybody, and he's such an exhibitionist. Anyway, I never
Ford
really
qualified,
got with him. What's that?
but you're doing the Quentin Tarantino of Marvel. You don't start from the beginning to end. You're going backwards. You saw this, then you have to go back and say, oh, just like in
Oh
Pulp
yeah, now I'm
Fiction,
really, but it's filling in the
all over the
gaps.
place.
It's great.
Yeah.
Civil War was awesome, by the way,
Wasn't it
which I
great?
had seen, but seeing it like having watched everything in order, I understood a lot more this time. And
I was like
so
Winter Soldier.
it only points out it's so great. It even like makes it more obvious how bad Batman versus Superman was.
Right.
Not to return to that,
Right.
but
Right.
it
I
really
mean,
does though.
but you see, because you have an arc. By the time you get to Civil War, you have these two characters that started off on one
Yeah,
arc, suddenly
yeah,
actually changing sides on viewpoints. So by that
yeah.
point, it's so yeah. I mean, if it's your first movie, you can't get there.
Now, now I did. I should maybe rewatched everything because I still don't know in the movie where the Anthony Mackie puts on the paramilitary wings.
Hmm.
That's the army wings, and that gets destroyed. And then the next movie I saw was where he's got the Falcon suit. Where did he get it from? Which movie did that appear in?
That's
Or did he just
they're
show up in
they're
it?
just pretty much saying it became. They're pretty much saying that it became almost like Stark. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Stark rebuilt it for Avengers
So
Yeah.
Ultron.
The
there's no
Alchemist.
moment, there's no movie where that happens, though, right? He
No,
just
well,
shows up.
Avengers Age of Ultron. Is it Age of Ultron? No, it's
No, no.
oh no,
It's
it is Civil War. It's Civil War where he shows up with the Stark tech.
right,
Yeah,
right.
and it's
Right.
just Stark tech.
Yeah, it's great. It's
It
great. I
even
mean,
has the red. I
and
think the
he is
red
the
is to do
greatest. He's
that.
like the greatest action star since a young Will Smith, like in Men in Black.
I know. I
He's
love
got
Anthony
such
Mackie.
charm. He really sells those, the buddy put down stuff. And the guy who plays the Winter Soldier, what a fantastic
Sebastian
transformation
Stan.
from that character, which is thoroughly frightened in the movie. Because first time I really saw him was in the television show.
Right.
Right.
I'm watching him. I'm keeping talking about him having been an assassin. I'm like, well, I must have missed that. Bucky died, as far as I knew. I saw that Captain America movie, and he's supposed to be dead, and now he's back. He looks just like Bucky. He's got a weird arm, but I mean, he looks pretty much like he did when he left the army. So I don't know what the hell is going on here.
One of
So
my
now it helps.
One of my favorite things is the theme for him. Like whenever he goes, true Winter Soldier, that theme comes in from Captain America, Winter Soldier movie. That really eerie kind of ghost sound or whatever like that. I love that theme. It's really cool.
Yeah, I also found out who Zemo was, which helped too with the whole TV series. So
Yes.
it filled in some blanks in this week, Luis. I feel good about it.
It filled in a whole book for Paul, not just some blanks. Paul now has the big book. Paul's all good now.
Yeah, I'm
You
in.
know which
I'm in.
regret
Y'all,
you
you
put out of
guys can
Falcon and the
discuss
Snowman,
things.
right? He's regretting that now.
No, he's not regretting it.
No. I loved every. This is like they're not only true to the original spirit of the comic books, which I loved growing up in the '60s, but they're funny and witty, and they remind you with that wink that all this massive carnage and destruction you're seeing, it's just all cartoon. You know, it's just
it's a
we're all
cartoon.
just it's an action movie, and whereas the DC movies are all like, this is real, and I fucking feel anger, and I'm gonna burn you with my X-ray eyes. I'm like, when did Superman turn into Darth Vader? What the hell is going on with this movie?
That's a good point. That's a good point. They try to humanize it a lot, right? But again, they're the sad part is DC didn't run their own race. You know what I mean? And the whole Nolan Batman's everything are dark. And that's the way they should have just took that a whole 180 and just stayed true to what the characters are in DC.
But Nolan was involved with that first Man of Steel. Him and Zack Snyder they sort of co-wrote
terrible.
it together.
Terrible.
Right. And it was one of his few misses.
Well, we talked about it already. I'm not even going to rave about it anymore. But he's not a reporter at the Daily Planet. What the fuck? Come on, dude. You're going to change that? You're going to have somebody attack Aunt May? The very first. There's no Superboy. He's never been Superboy. He's been off on oil tankers and shit, pretending to be anonymous while he saves people.
They didn't want to remake the movie from the 70s. To be fair, I understand that they didn't want to remake the movie.
That's not the movie from the 70s. That's Superman.
No,
That
I
is
get
the
it.
true
No, you're right.
of Superman.
You're
of
right.
Kal-El, who became Clark Kent when he landed in the field, and the Kents didn't want to have anybody find out because they were childless and older, and they adopted him and raised him as their own and taught him that his powers were special and gave him good Midwestern American values so that he became Superboy anonymously and saved people in the Midwest until he was old enough to go to New York, get a job at the Daily Planet as Clark Kent, and jump into the nearest phone booth and save people as Superman. That's not the 70s movie. That is the true story of Superman. Written in the comic books when it came out back in the 50s.
Look, to be fair, it's American myth, right? So American myth
No, it's not, Mikey.
It's not a myth?
No.
Okay.
No, Superman existed. Back then he did.
It's historical documents. It's the historical documents.
These are historical documents like in Galaxy Quest. You're absolutely right.
Nice. Hey, Philip. All right, you got the French truck coffee. He just said he has some French truck coffee right now. Wouldn't you like to get it cheaper? Come on.
Would you like to get it cheaper? How about that?
All right, Luis. I finally figured out how to download all your stupid pictures.
Well, before we get into that, right? Before we get into all the cosplayers.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Paul was pointing out, with Robert Redford being in the Winter Soldier. Hey, let me just go back and say how badass that elevator scene is, where he kicks everybody's ass.
Oh my God! Right.
Oh my God! What a great scene.
Oh, I just like
I love that he says before we start. Anybody want to get out?
Yes, isn't that great?
You know what though? That's Captain America. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
in the comic. That's Steve Rogers.
Absolutely.
One time he was fighting a bad guy. The bad guy goes, "Do you really think you could beat me?" Captain America goes, "You haven't given me any reasons to think otherwise." And I'm like, "That's Captain America." I mean, he goes in strong and he comes out. So that's one of the things I love about him. And
that's
then
a great scene.
Yeah, and to your point is, it seemed like Marvel would grab all of these more established actors who aren't getting big roles and saying, "Come into our movies," because you had like Glenn Close, right?
Right.
She was in Guardians of the Galaxy. You have Kurt Russell.
That was pretty
all
cool.
these, you know what I'm saying? You're getting all these actors who were stars back in the 80s and 90s saying,
Who's one in the one I'm watching now? There's another one it's like the Robert Redford role where he's the guy that's running the SHIELD agents, and he's a famous actor, older actor. Damn, I'm gonna kick myself for not knowing. I can't remember which movie I'm watching right now. Hang on, wait. I'm so addicted to this Disney Plus thing now that I don't even turn it off on my laptop. It just stays on so I can go back to the movie I was
Uh,
watching.
Hey Jesse, let's see if we can't get this hashtag Superman's real going. Right? We gotta. He just threw it up a minute ago. Hashtag
for,
Superman's real with 1,000 exclamation points. Let's do that. Let's get that trending. Hashtag Superman's real. Let's
So
see. If we
maybe it
can.
was
it's a real. He's a real cosplayer. That's for sure.
it
Jesse
must
is.
be in the Black no.
Yeah, that's my boy Jess.
It's got to be in the Black Panther where there's another head of Shield. No.
Oh no.
Damn.
Oh, it was
The
Martin. It was the guy from The Hobbit.
guy from The Hobbit. Forget his name.
Martin something, who comes on
Hobbit.
as a. Yeah, he's actually in Civil War too. He played The Hobbit. He
That's the
played.
one. That's the one. He
Yeah,
was in Civil War. I
Martin
know.
something.
Yeah,
Martin
yeah.
something.
Oh, you're talking
Well,
about. Oh, I know who
much-
he's talking about. He's talking about General Ross. He's talking about
William Hurt.
William Hurt, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Now William
So
Hurt
that's
shows up in the
another
first Hulk movie.
great Academy Award winning actor that they've gotten. And so it really ups the quality of the series. They got Academy Award winners playing the villains.
Right, right. When they
Well, here's the deal. William Hurt's character is actually the Red Hulk in the comics.
and they're thinking that he'll eventually turn into that, but he was actually introduced the same year as Iron Man in the Incredible Hulk story, which came out the same year as Iron Man in 2008. And so his character's been around forever, and they brought him back during Civil War, and he was just sitting there, right? It was like, we got this guy, got this character, and they brought him back for that, and of course he was in Endgame and Infinity War, and I think Infinity War, maybe not Endgame, but no, he's supposed to show back up again through that Falcon and Winter Soldier story,
right.
Nice.
creating sort of he's running the raft right now, and the idea that Zemo went to the raft is supposed to give you the idea that he's going to set up this thing from the comic books where he uses like his own Suicide Squad. It's a bunch of villains. He sends them out to do jobs or whatever like that, but he controls them, and they're called the Thunderbolts. So, and the fact that they're sending Zemo and these other people to the raft, you start hearing about people going to the raft, like the Ghost, the one from Ant-Man and the Wasp, went to the raft. And so
Yeah.
now Captain America did get in there and break all his people out after Civil War. I don't know if you caught
Right.
that, but
Yeah.
yeah. So he didn't have,
Louise, watch until the end. Always watch till the end.
yeah, they did sort of introduce that with the very first one where they make you watch until the end. And I remember at the end of Endgame, everybody was mad because everybody's waiting to find out, all right, what's next? And all it was the sound of a hammer from Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie. And people were like, God, I waited this whole time for that. And they were like, nope, at this point, we're stopping. And knew nothing until...
Wow.
And the pandemic actually hit at a bad time for them because nobody knows for sure.
Oh, dude, it actually had a good time because could you imagine if the pandemic, everybody would have freaked out because they had to wait another year to watch, Endgame. You know what I mean? Everybody would have had to wait.
Oh no. Yeah, no, you're talking about if it had come sooner, but I just think the
Yeah.
idea that it came at all, even you're right. The fact that they were able to end it, but that's almost a bad thing too, because now you've got them ending. Martin Freeman, thank you very much, Mark. You're right. And now that they ended that sort of thing, people are like, all right, the story's over for me. I've heard so many. The thing about streaming is you don't know for a fact how the numbers are doing. I had heard that Falcon and Winter Soldier from one source had done fantastic, and then you hear from another source that they didn't get nearly the numbers that they expected to get from it. And but with streaming, you don't know. So it's kind of interesting to find out what this Black Widow movie that's coming out, the Shang-Chi. These are such different directions for them. What's going to happen when they get back in the theaters? Are they going to be able to maintain it? Basically, are they going to still be able to pull in the money they were pulling in before? Nobody knows.
Oh, well, I'll put it this way right now. So, with all the difficulties they had last week, when Paul's like, we didn't have enough information, I got thrown off, but this time I made notes, all right? This time I made notes. I can't believe I actually made notes. So I was going to bring up Shang-Chi, right? So new Marvel movie coming out. He's the master of Kung Fu. And, again, Marvel's taking that that dive of, pretty much almost the same way with Black Panther, but they're going to try with, Shang-Chi.
Right. They're going for Chinese audiences. They're trying to see if they can't get, bigger Chinese market share.
Now that Paul's seen all these other movies and they're fresh in his head, So do you remember? Let's see, here you go. Ben Kingsley, right? Another
Oh yeah,
well-established
that was
actor.
awesome. That was
Okay.
great fun, actually.
So what ends up happening in a side like an online movie? Somebody went up to Ben Kingsley in prison and told him, you know what, the real Mandarin does exist, and he's pissed off that you acted as the Mandarin.
Oh wow,
And he's like, so now the Mandarin is actually going to show up in Shang Chi.
As his father.
nice,
Yes.
Yep. So that should
nice.
be interesting. They released a new trailer which has the Eternals, right? And that's a brand new, like, they're a space group, right? Helmed by Selma Hayek and Angelina Jolie. And I'm in love already. I'm like, I'm in there.
Selma
I'd be like,
Hayek or Angelina Jolie? Which one?
oh,
I know.
both.
Yeah.
That's a great fantasy.
I
You
love
could have
Salma
done.
Hayek. She's so
Me too.
beautiful.
Oh my God, she's so sexy. Stop it. Keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, for sure. So those are the two big ones right now. Then they also came out with how they're coming out with the new Doctor Strange movie and you know
really.
Guardian. Well, see, I'm not going to say any more because once you watch WandaVision,
Hmm.
WandaVision sort of leads into this new Doctor Strange movie.
Right, but I think
Sweet.
it's gonna happen in
I got
Spider
to.
Man first, right? So something happens in Spider Man. Doctor Strange is in the new Spider Man,
Right,
Oh,
um,
that's nice.
and
Because
then
I got to
right.
tell you, he's like my favorite character. When Luis took me, I was in Chicago. Oh, the Cubs had just won the series. So every time I get to Chicago, I'd call up Will Byington, who worked for Cowboy Mouth and is a photographer there now. And he's one of my best friends. And I'd call my friend Nunu, who's one of my best friends and always picks me up at the airport. And nobody's answering their phone, right? So I call Luis, who I usually don't call when I land because he's at work. It's a weekday and he works. I'll call him and say, let's get together afterwards. But, I don't call him for a ride or to get together and have something, do something fun in the day. But I call him and I go, hey man, what are you up to? And he goes, well, I'm gonna be working. I'm like, I can't get anybody to answer their phone. He goes, Paul, the Cubs won the World Series. There's like 100,000 people in Grant Park, and all your friends are there. They can't hear their cell phones. Nobody's gonna answer their phone today. So I
And
said,
I'm a
well,
Lakers fan, so I have no interest in being there.
so so Luis and I agree to meet after work, and as soon as he can get away, we get in his car.
Time out, time out, time out.
I don't want to get you in
Paul,
trouble.
that's okay. That manager's gone. But so Paul's like, Luis, let's go see Doctor Strange right now. I look at the clock; it's about 2 o'clock and shit. I'm going, oh, okay. Let me spin this. I go to my manager and I'm like, listen, boss, I have to grab some drunken Cub fans. They call me, goes, just go. And I'm like, okay. And I'm
You
like, Paul
told him you
is a
had
Cubs
friends
fan.
that get drunk and
Yeah,
needed a ride.
yeah. Paul was a Cubs fan, and I'm sure he got drunken at one point, so it wasn't a lie.
At some point, I had been drunk, sure, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
so there, you know what I mean. So I never lied to the boss. So that's when we went.
So I went and so we met up and went to see Doctor Strange in the middle of his workday. He was awesome.
Yeah,
He skipped out to pick up drunk friends and met me and bought the biggest thing of popcorn for us. And we sat in easy chairs, which I'd never done in a movie theater. And it was empty because it was in the middle of the day. So it was like me and
right.
him and three other people watching Doctor Strange. And man, what a great movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tilda Swinton was awesome, and the special effects were
Did you enjoy
no.
Infinity War, where him and Iron Man actually had to deal with each other, and it's hilarious because they
Yeah,
both have the
like
huge egos, and
they have both have a tremendous ego. Yeah, it was fun.
it was
That
fun.
was really
And,
Yeah,
and and the thing that gets fun about Marvel is as they establish these characters, they don't have to build, they don't have to explain to you who these guys are. They can bring them into a movie
right,
and treat it more like a TV show,
right,
so they can get more advanced
right,
with their
right.
plots, and you
And
already
say
know. Right.
I'm gonna rewatch Infinity Wars because I have a feeling it's gonna make a lot more sense now.
Yeah, especially after you watch a handful of other movies. Yeah, suddenly the character interactions make even more sense.
Well, if you haven't seen six of the previous movies,
Yes.
you know,
well,
Yes.
but it reads like a comic book, right? And the best part
right,
is
right,
they don't have to go explaining everybody's origin all over. He's
right,
Thor. He's God. Let's go. We know
right,
who Iron Man is. Let's go.
yeah,
Let's
It's
just
like
put him in a
Civil War.
situation.
Right,
hmm
Civil War had introduced Spider-Man, had introduced Black Panther, and those were okay. They did it well, and it was nicely timed. Since you already have in the background of your head of who Spider-Man is, right?
right, of
And if you
course,
don't, so what I think Sony and Marvel finally made an agreement. They're eventually going to put the Spider-Man movies on Disney Plus, so they could
Interesting.
do the whole, they could do the whole continuity on there.
I have to say, I like of all the Spider-Mans, and I've seen many in my life, this
Mhm.
kid is really the most fun Spider-Man they've ever come up with.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Now, again, this is the minor complaint. Aunt May was not hot and sexy.
Yeah, I know.
She was an old
Well, you know what?
lady, and her
And
husband
I
was an
feel
old
those.
man who got mugged, and Spider-Man didn't save him, and that's why he became Spider-Man because he didn't save his uncle. He was off doing Spidey, and now he owes the rest of his life to saving lives. Let's leave that out and let's make her sexy so Iron Man can hit on her. Okay, it was a minor point. I'm not going to bitch about it. I bitched a
It's
little,
it's
but I'm
not
not going
it's
to.
not so, it's not so much that they could hit on her. It's like why did Star Wars use that new robot that's a ball because he could get around, right? I mean, R2D2, as much as you wanted to use him, still couldn't get around as fast as the ball could, right? So I'm like, whoever made a robot into a ball, it just carries the story. So for me, I
I mean,
mean, I'm
I
not.
like that robot.
What's that?
I like that droid. I thought that was really cool, the rolling droid.
It's real good, right? But so let's okay. We're gonna have to go a little bit over time because I did. So
I'm
in
not sure
terms
how
of
the
the
rolling droid
cosplayer,
equates to the sexy Aunt May, but okay.
okay, sorry, yeah, because I did actually reach out to a Chicago Facebook group called Chicago Cosplayers of Color to submit
Nice.
some pictures this week, right? So, and got to thank my friend again, Chris English, for letting me post. I always ask for permission for when I do these kind of things too.
Oh
And so,
yeah.
friends, didn't, well, I just don't like to splatter, and especially when you put up a picture that says another cup of coffee, which has like nothing to do with cosplay. It was gonna be like,
Right.
this is whatever this is. This is not us. So, but some people did submit, and Mike, I guess I don't know if you have the stuff ready.
I do. I do. I want to, before I show this first one that comes up, I
Uh-huh.
want to say I think this, just in general, for comic book, but let's just talk about the movies for a second. This is probably one of
Okay.
my favorite costumes ever to be in any of the movies so far, and it's the Deadpool costume.
Ah,
It's
yeah.
so awesome,
Yeah.
and
That's my buddy Tessa. She's amazing, little cosplayer, 22-year-old kid. She just full of
I'm going to
spunk.
show this again. Look, she's even got the eyes. It's
Oh yeah.
great. She nailed it. And what a great costume. My God, I thought it was
Yeah.
awesome. Here's the next one.
All right, that's my
Wow.
friend Belle. She wanted to do this Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm like, do you want to do like some other one? She goes, this is the one I want, Luis. All right, it's your
Great.
cosplay,
Great
man.
makeup.
Great paint,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, now this is Alan
Funny.
McKee,
That's funny.
Super Mario. Look at the gun show on this one, man. I mean, I just couldn't get over those arms. That was a great picture there.
I know. It's like I felt the same way. It's like, man, Mario's been working out. Check out
Ah,
Mario.
No more spaghetti.
That's right. We give up and then this one is like an angel.
Oh, Paul, who is
is
that,
that
Paul?
is that your friend Jamie?
Yes, she didn't think
Ah,
you'd recognize her.
yeah. I almost didn't. I saw the
Yeah,
eyes. The eyes gave it away.
yeah. She's doing Emma Frost from the X-Men.
That's a
And
great
I'll be
costume.
honest, with you, man, I think some of these bad guys just want to fight these superheroes when they're dressed like that. Because I'd be like, I can't fight you.
I know.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'd want to fight you, but you're so, sure, beat me up. It's okay. I'm sure it's one of my fantasies. It's
yeah.
crazy.
But she was
All
in
right.
white, so it made it like I was like, oh, it's like an angel, right? It's
Oh
like.
God, whatever. I'm telling you, man, I just couldn't be a bad guy these days.
By the way,
Get my
this is Power Girl, and this one always got a bunch of grief in the comics. You'll notice there's a big circle in this area here, and so they've made in the comics it's like super sexually drawn, and so Power
yeah,
Girl is
yeah. Selena, she's awesome. Love her. She's great, and that's she's
Yeah.
costume accurate. She's costume accurate
yes
right
she
there.
is,
Yeah.
yes she
Yeah.
is. And then this one's fun.
Yes, this is Karen's daughter from Smith from Alabama, Paul. A
Oh
long time
wow.
ago. Yeah, that's her daughter.
Wow.
I forgot what she told me what
Daughter.
cosplay
Oh
that
my
was.
goodness.
Yeah. All right. This
Ah,
here is MC Monty. He's Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is
nice.
great. It's very awesome. I like it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's keeping his cosplay name, so I use his cosplay name. We all have cosplay names. All right. This is
God.
Icy Ace 06 Aesthetic. So, back in
Nice.
the 90s, a company came out called Milestone Comics. It was very African American heavy with a bunch of characters, and DC eventually bought them out. But that's one of the comics characters that survived it.
Oh, this one looks professionally done here.
That's my friend Jenny. She was she did Wonder Woman the last time we did this, right? This is
Right.
Senua from a game called Hellblade 2. Had to look it up. It looks pretty legit to me.
It almost looks like Avatar to me, but I love the depth of field and everything in that picture. It's like, all right, somebody did a nice job with that particular shot there. Oh, this looks like your boy.
Okay, no, this is actually they're doing. I had to look this one up. This is actually, I'm not. This is from Lilo and Stitch, right? This is Kevin Jackson. So he's Cobra Bubbles. Like he's a character in the movie. I never actually really seen Lilo and Stitch, but now that we got Disney Plus, I should eventually watch it. But hey,
And this one's for Paul. Got a little Falcon action.
Jesse
Nice.
Short, awesome Falcon. Anybody who does
Awesome.
wings, that's just
Right.
an effort there.
I know. Imagine going. I can imagine like trying to get through 100,000 people at Comic-Con with wings.
Terrible. It's terrible. It doesn't even have a big mask. It's bad.
Oh man.
All right, so this is Angela. She's doing Scarlet Witch.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah, great costume.
Oh, I love this little Hellboy action.
It's Chris English again. He's the one that did the Green Lantern last night. Hellboy, him and his daughter. I mean, his daughter is so into it. It's not even funny. That's just a great job on both.
Oh, that's so cute, right? And having something you can share with your kid like that's always a good time. It's fun.
Yep.
Here comes another one you wouldn't want to fight. You'd be like, do we
This
really
is
have to
Jelly.
fight?
There's Mortal Kombat there. Jelly, she is such a great cosplayer doing Mortal Kombat.
Oh, she's
here.
the queen from Mortal Kombat there, the mother of the.
Sure, we'll go with that. I don't know all the Mortal Kombat characters, but that was,
No.
she
They
was
just.
like-
You didn't see the movie just recently?
I did see the movie, but I just saw it one time. I didn't absorb it all. I was like,
Oh wait! I just
watching-
realized this isn't in the most recent movie. It's from the one from the '90s. It's like it was the Alana or whatever character.
one that nobody saw.
It was her
That was
mom,
it.
right? All right,
Okay.
so this one's interesting.
I went old school for this. This is my friend June doing the Eartha Kitt
Nice.
Catwoman.
No, but to me, it looks like she's actually pretending to be in a box. Is that true? Like she's.
Yes, yeah, because when you go to some of these
Right.
conventions, they
Right.
make it look like you're an action figure. So they have the background, and you can pretend you're an action figure.
Oh, all right.
great.
So those things are already up there, and you can pretend you're. I thought she was carrying. Like you were talking about wings. I'm like, imagine walking around with that thing strapped to your back. It seems like a lot of work there.
I just even think about. Oh, here we go. I go Jelly again with her guy Franco doing Tigra and Moon Knight from both Avengers.
Moon
He's
Knight.
more West Coast,
Awesome.
but yeah.
I am so looking forward to Moon Knight. By the way.
There's June again doing Misty Knight. You guys remember her from the?
Oh yeah, Luke Cage. Yeah.
Yep.
And so yeah,
Right,
she's got
yeah.
the robot arm kind of thing that she
The robot
got.
arm and everything.
Now,
I was trying to keep people. There she is again. That's she's doing Captain Planet.
nice. So
Samantha.
who's Captain
did,
Planet?
Oh man, it's a TV show from the '90s, and
Gotcha.
he's like very environmentalist with a bunch of kids, and all the kids had the rings that form Captain Planet to kick somebody's ass. So it's very '90s, but does a great job. Here it goes. Now I got it. Here, got this one just for you, Mike.
Yes, the Tick.
Who is it?
Well, the
Yes,
Tick. But who's the other character?
American Made. They're from
Oh.
the cartoon.
Gotcha.
That was my friend Doug. That was Doug and Mia. Doug is the one that did the Mach 5.
Well, here's another
That's
one
sweet.
of the sexy ones. Oh, he did the Mach right. I love that. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Action figure. Whoa, that would sell the nasty evil clown action figure. Yes.
I'd have rights from Tim Cohen.
So here's another beautiful one. My goodness.
Oh, that's Amanda. She does her back row just amazing all the
Oh,
time.
look at the mat. The helmet is like.
Belt. Yeah, it's a great costume.
Oh yeah, the belt and everything
Yeah.
is all worn in, kind of really cool. I just noticed
That's her
that.
signature. Whenever you think of Amanda, that's the first cosplay you think of. It's just she just highlights that. Oh, very great. She's out in Colorado now, so miss her.
I just saw some making of. They came out with the assembled for Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that white outfit of his, they had to keep fixing the cowl You meant at the very end of it where he was, because in real life it would just, there was no material you could do that would stay nice and tight, right? So
not
anyway,
realistic, right?
I'm looking at her
It couldn't-
helmet going, well done there, whatever she used to make it look like that. Now what is this? Some kind of '90s flash dance kind of?
Come on, it's a 1980s movie. Weird Science.
Weird
She's doing
Science.
Lisa. She's doing Lisa at the end of the movie when she goes and teaches at the gym.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my friend Teresa. She's out from Green Bay. That was a great job. I was like, "This is the one you want to use?" She goes, "Yep." I said, "All right."
Yeah, I'm a fan. All right, and so this is amazing. And we just had what, a couple days ago? We had May the Fourth be with you.
Yeah, well, remember the couple that I had last week that were new mom and dad? This is their son. Decided to do Baby Yoda there. So.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. And then we got another Wonder Woman.
Yep, my friend Claire. She does, again, she
Great
has the hybrid.
costume.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Very, very, and they even got the gold rope going. Nice. Oh, here you go. This is the winner.
Look, no, this is my friend Donna. This is her daughter Olivia. She was just posting something one day, and I just love the power stance on that.
Yes.
Very heroic. I just like, you know what? I got to put this on the show that I'm on. She's like, let me see that show first. So if you notice, back in the episode 29, you got like a lot more hits. It's because I keep on directing people back to that show when I'm like, listen, this is what I did with your cosplay picture. So people are like, what do you do with the cosplay picture? And I'm like, so I send them back. So the show that episode 29 almost has like 200 hits now because
I saw that. I saw it the other day. I was telling Paul, I was like, yeah, and that cosplay thing, there's a lot of people that watch that one. We got to do more of that stuff. Now I know why.
Yeah, Luis is going to wind up with his own show. He won't be
right. He won't need us to just be the cosplay show.
Yeah. Well, it was hard to get people this time. The first time, everybody was all for it. This time, I'm like, like putting the udder on the cow, like, come on, get that milk out. I need some more cosplays here. And then everything just came about.
Well, we got Loki here.
Loki, yeah, and Buddy Toby. Again, great job. Cool, he also does a good John Wick. And then he goes, use whatever picture you want. I went with Loki just for Paul.
Oh, this one's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, at first I'm like Dr. Evil. No, that's my friend. No, that's Lee. He's doing Dr. No. Really good job there.
Nice. It does look a bit like Dr. Evil.
Yep. So they're getting another Harley.
Yeah. Harley's a big.
Yeah. They always make jokes about about conventions being red and black because everybody either does a Harley Quinn or a Deadpool, right? So and their main color are like red and black.
So Deadpool and Harley are pretty big at Comic-Con.
Pretty big. Yep.
Mr. Clean.
There's Jesse. I had he wanted to put a Batman of himself. I said, no, dude, I need Mr. Clean. I said, when I saw that, he rocked it, and I just want Mr. Clean. That's his hero. He cleans everybody's shit. So you got Cullen again. He's doing the Spider-Man Noir.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I don't know so that's a alternate version of Spider-Man where it takes place like in the 1930s, and that's the way he looks like. So he did a good job.
Wow.
By the way, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie where he's in, Paul, but Nick Cage plays his voice.
The voice.
It's great, actually. He does a great job.
Nice.
Of it.
Nice.
My friend Sonny doing the Klingon.
Oh, it's a Klingon. Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
yep, makes sense.
Yep.
All right, now we got a few of this girl's like doing different characters.
Okay, so this is Ksenia. All right, so during COVID, she was really doing lockdown. But she decided, she just, with her son and everything, so she decided that each time she threw out the garbage, she was going to do it in a cosplay. So that was her as Rose from the X-Men. All right. She's doing the ring.
The ring, right? With the garbage can still in the shot. That's
a
great.
great picture. I love that.
All right, you got doing a little Joker,
Joker?
in front of the trash. No, I wonder what her neighbors are thinking at this point. They're like, okay.
You give a shit. Check out your garbage is what I would say.
Nice.
Doing Pennywise.
Nice.
So, yeah, like I had to do a whole series of these, and
that Tomb Raider. Yeah. What's it? Lara Croft or whatever her name is.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. Yeah.
Lara Croft.
Nice. So she's having fun creating all these. I think that's the last one of her. And then we got, this guy.
Wow.
That looks like the movie.
He is legit. He's a 501st cosplayer. My buddy Ted, I'm actually going to do an event with him tomorrow. He does. I mean, even Ray Park, the actor who he confused them. He showed him a picture. He goes, "Is that me?" He goes, "No, that's me." I mean, that's how dead on spot. He just looks like Darth Maul.
Dude, it looked like from the movie. Yeah, it was like, wow.
Right?
Yeah, it was great.
He spends a lot of hours in that makeup chair when he puts that together.
And this looks like was this the girl who was taking out the trash too?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she's doing Jill Valentine doing the zombie. I just lost the.
Right.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, right?
Resident Evil. Thank you. See, I'm not that much of a gamer.
So she's supposed to be Alice. I actually love those movies.
This is the Silk Spectre.
Oh, right.
From
Watchmen, yes.
A Golden Age Silk Spectre. Yeah, that's my friend Laura. She's like one of the last people to give me one. She goes, "Am I too late?" I might give it to me. Let's go. Mike. Because I tell people Wednesday night's my cutoff, so I'm like, "Here, Mike, please take that one." So I'm glad you got it in.
Yes. And Silk Spectre, what's her name plays her in the movie? What's her name? Because she was just
Carla. It's Carla Gugino.
It is Carla Gugino. Right. I was thinking it was who played the daughter though. The daughter was played by Marin. Marin, I think, is her first name. She's on Billions now.
Forgot her name. Somebody was chiming in.
Yes, but she wanted to be in a bunch of movies. I didn't. That's all of them that came down.
Oh, okay, the other ones didn't go through then. All right.
So we got more for next Friday then.
Oh, well, we'll do it every other week. How's that?
Yeah, I think that's, or even once a month. You know, if it's harder to get them.
Okay, we'll do it once a month. Today's what? Oh, so we're doing. I don't know. We'll pick a date, but yeah. Once a month sounds good. Just to bring up other stuff. Today on Netflix, Jupiter Legacy is coming out.
I was telling him about it. You weren't here yet, but I told him that it's supposed to be a mashup with Turner classic movies, and hitting this superhero genre. And I heard it's done well.
So what it is a writer named Mark Myler. He wrote a bunch of books, and Netflix they call it the Marlerverse. And then he actually that old movie called Wanted with Angelina Jolie. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
So he wrote that. You know, he wrote Kick-Ass, and he wrote The Kingsman from those movies.
Right. I knew this guy's name. So he's written some good stuff.
So he has really good stuff. And he's written for DC and Marvel. And the thing is, Netflix decided to buy the whole Marvelverse comic book line. So they want their own Marvel Universe and Netflix.
Wow.
So this is going to be the first offering of all their books that are coming out. And so I'm going to actually watch that this weekend.
From what I understand, Paul, they kind of hang out in 1939 time for most of the first season. Like there's characters. Apparently, it's like some sort of Justice League that goes through into today. But the first season kind of starts with those people who started it. It's supposed to be, you know, if you like those kind of movies that were made back then, it's supposed to be in that style. Mm-hmm. So
it'll be fun.
It might be fun. It might be interesting.
Yeah.
So, and also, what also came out on Disney Plus, and I hadn't really seen any of these things before, but I know you guys aren't into animation, but the Bad Batch, the Star Wars episodes,
right?
It was a really fun TV show. First offering was amazing. And what's on Sci-Fi is a TV show called Resident Alien.
Uh-huh.
Have you guys haven't gotten a chance to look at that? So
I finished Invincible, by the way, so you know I did finish Invincible.
And what'd you think of it?
I thought it was really well done. And yeah, the last episode's pretty. The last episode's pretty rough, you know.
Boy, that was enthusiastic, Mikey. That was,
I know, man.
No. I liked it.
Jumping off the screen.
I'm sorry. I did like it. The problem was I knew too much going in. Is the whole thing. You know, I knew what all the big things were before. You know, I saw.
Felt like
it,
he was
so.
breaking up with us. He like, you know, it was a great run. You know,
right?
You know, we're still friends, right? We're still friends, right? Not you, it's me. Jeez, man. I know all these lines, Mike. I know all these lines.
No, but it was well done. It was good. You know, there's
real quick. So I got my JP shirt on, my Brenton sound.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
I got this going today, and I was just curious. What would be your Beatles number one songs? If you guys did this list, what would be your number one Beatle?
You see, I think that it's an insane undertaking taken on by a madman.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, okay, how about this? It doesn't necessarily have to be there. Okay, so what song would you say, you know, your favorite? Like, if I wasn't a Beatles fan, what song would you recommend then?
To get you into the Beatles. Maybe that's a way to sort of think. Um, oh wait,
for me, I guess Strawberry Fields Forever.
That's a good one.
so Amy
That's a
Beer
good.
saying
See,
her first one was a steampunk Harley, and she's working on Victorian Maleficent. Um,
tell them to send them. Tell them to send them.
yeah, Amy, send
get
it
the picture.
down. Send
We'll
some
be happy to
pictures.
post them.
Yeah, we'll put
Yes,
you in. Especially
even for
Maleficent.
Halloween picture.
Has
Yeah,
anybody
even for
done
Halloween.
Hella? Have you ever seen anybody do Hella?
Oh yeah. Oh, you want a Hella? I got you a Hella.
Interesting, because
My
that's a
my
tough
my
that's a
friend. My
tough one.
friend. You want to talk about wings? Because you know how that thing goes like
Yeah,
this, right?
yeah.
You might as well be like Buffalo. You just can't out with the big heads. You just feel bad for them. It's as to how Hela could even fight Thor with that thing is beyond me. But yeah, no, I could get you a Hela. I could get you a Hela cosplay.
Interesting,
Get
interesting.
that next time. And there's some really good Helas too. So yeah,
Wow.
so then yeah, so I was just curious about your whole Beetle thing. And one more thing, had to send up a shout out to my buddy Tex. He's been in the hospital for the last month. I didn't know. He reached out to me. His lungs collapsed. He's scared, but I just wanted to tell him, with you, prayers with you, man. So just really that's what I
Get
want
well,
to do real
Ted.
quick. So yeah, so good
Absolutely.
old
So,
Tex.
I
He's,
was so,
he's actually like the way you guys have fans. He's like my one cosplay fan. I have one fan, and it's him. And you guys have fans. I have one fan. I met him in Joliet Star Wars Day about 7 years ago, and I'm new to this whole thing. And he goes, "Hey Barf, how about a picture?" So I take a picture with him, and later he goes, "Hey Barf, would you like to say hi to my family?" I said hi to his wife and hi to his kids. And he goes, "Hey Barf, can I talk to you for a second?" I'm like, "Oh gosh, what did I do?" I'm not used to this whole cosplay thing, right? So
Uh,
he pulls me to the side. He goes, "Barf," I goes, "I want you to know something. You're a good person." He goes, "You see the guy dressed like Darth Vader over there? He's a fucking asshole."
oh shit.
I'm like, "Wait, what?" He goes, "My kids are waiting to meet him, and he got really rude with the kids." And I'm thinking maybe he's just being the Darth Vader persona. And I didn't know who the cosplayer was, or else I would have talked to the person. And he goes, "But you're over here high-fiving my kids." I'm like, "Cool, man. Thanks. I appreciate it." So from then on, whenever I go to Joliet Star Wars Day, we always take a picture together. It's just our thing.
nice,
So
nice.
then he reached out, and so he became a friend. So then he's like, "I'm hospitalized." I'm going, "Oh crap!" And then when he explains to you what is going on, it puts everything in perspective what you're going through. And you're just like,
Thanks,
oh,
Sandy.
yeah. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate it.
That's
So
my
yeah,
sister.
but that's all. Oh, okay. Oh, nice to meet you, Sandy. Never met your family other than Johnny.
Other than Johnny,
Other than
who's
Johnny.
always Johnny always seems to be connected to your career, Paul. It's funny. You two are like,
Yeah, well,
One of my biggest
the best part
supporters.
about when I met Johnny the first time was, "Hey, Johnny, Not Goods. Could you watch that?" I said, "Yeah." He pulls out a button and gives it to me. I'm like, "Oh, cool." How he would have Not Good buttons on him was crazy. Sorry.
by the
So
way, the interview that we didn't play the day that we had Ivan on, you'd sent me an interview, and I hear your brother all over it, and he's playing a character I have never heard him play since. He's
That's
cocky
Johnny.
and
Yeah,
oh
it's Johnny Not Good. That's not John Sanchez. That's Johnny Not Good.
oh even so, I'm just saying he fell into the part. It was amazing, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, we have to play this just because it'll crack you up, and if you know Johnny. And you hear some of this, you're gonna be like, "Is that the same?" No, it's not the same guy. You're right; it's not the same guy.
We may have to space out a segment where we do like once a week. Just give each Not Good 5 minutes to tell their version of the story. Because for those of you who don't know, you can look it up on YouTube. My brother Johnny made a movie about it. My brother had a band with some friends that started in the early 80s, I think, just getting drunk, drinking beer, and none of them were professional musicians. And my band was set up in the garage, my mom's garage, so they would start jamming in the garage. Well, then my friend Rick Gernhauser starts singing a song called Jam in the Garage, and they're all writing it together. And so they wound up recording I think 4 songs, but they called it an album. They never released it. They just said we have an album, but they had a cassette that they had of their homemade album, which was 4 songs, and then they released a greatest hits album, even though they'd never had an album or a hit, and it was called "This Is Absolutely Not Good." And they actually, we talked about it. We went down to the radio station and played it. Well, there's all such knuckleheads, so they became doctors and psychiatrists. And Johnny's the art director for the show, the Queen Sugar, and they still, as if it was really a real band, and they actually had real lawsuits and real lawyers. When they talk about it, they'll just look at each other and go, "You're session man. You were never even in the band. My lawyer will be your lawyer." And they still talk to each other like that, as if it was real. Like I sent something or I posted something online, but I'm literally before 5 minutes had passed, Carl Not Good and Johnny Not Good were fighting online in my lawyers. And of course, Ivan Bodley was threatening legal action in his interview.
Right.
None of it's real. None of it's real. So if you watch the Not Good
boy.
movie, when Cowboy Mouth was on tour, Johnny was our tour manager. And so what he would do is he spent like a year, and anybody who was famous or slightly famous, he would just approach him and get him to tell his favorite rock and roll story. Only you can't say the band's name, say the Not Goods. And so he's got like Vance DeGeneres and different actors, and Edie McClurg from the Ferris Bueller movie, the principal secretary. And some people kind of got prepped really fast, like it's loud and they're prepped. So instead of the Not Goods, they would say the No Goods. Johnny liked it so much, he just left it in.
Right. The fact that they don't know the correct name is part of the
Right.
shtick. It's great, right?
Yeah, Mikey's in the
It
movie.
works. Yes. He came up to me and I just started mouthing off to him at some point. And the band is playing in the background, so you can't really hear what the hell I'm saying. It's pretty funny. It's like, there's this guy mouthing off in front of a loud band.
No,
Yeah,
they got
my
you pretty
brother-
good, actually.
Yeah, my brother's the one that bought it because when we heard about it, I think we're like the first time ever in New Orleans. I think we're at Louisiana. I think they had it for sale at the Louisiana Music Factory, and that's where we
Right.
saw it. And my brother picked it up. So Regal's the actual proprietor of said, CD.
Johnny will love that.
Yeah,
Johnny will
no,
love
yeah, we
that.
did. That's why we saw it. That's how we even the video, because I think it was the video that we bought, one of the two. But we knew about the Not Goods.
DVD.
We knew about through you, so Regal picked it up. So Regal has it somewhere in his house, and one of these days
That's
I will
awesome.
steal it from him.
I'm going to say that there's a few moments of absolute genius on the Not Goods soundtrack stuff. There's the one about
And,
parking during Christmas.
Yeah,
And the
Christmas shopping.
music, the Christmas shopping, and the music that the noise they're making so puts you in the moment of trying to find a parking spot during Christmas.
Yes,
in the old
in
days.
Not Good's world, they will tell you that was their industrial rock phase.
It's genius. I'm just gonna say it's fucking
Because
genius.
the percussion was, one of my nephews had left a little toy car, those things that they spun, and it made noise when it scooted. So one of the percussion instruments is Carl spinning the wheel of this toy car. They're just idiots.
But it sounded. I'm telling you, it's amazing. It could be a film score. It's awesome. And I'm just, I was blown away at some of the stuff they stumbled onto. That was just
About 7 years ago, Johnny actually shot a video of Christmas shopping with me and Carl Palmer, and Rob Savoy took place of Rick Gernhauser, who was the original lead singer, and Johnny had him talked into it, but he's not really a performer, and he copped out the last minute, and Rob was only too glad to step in a wife beater t-shirt and be a member of the Not Goods for the video.
I've told this story before. When you played the Hummingbird, we visited the one that lives in Nashville, who's an artist, one of the Not Goods.
Not Good.
Which,
I'm on Not Good.
yes. So anyway, and his artwork was crazy. I turned my daughter onto him because she's pretty much similar. So we got the lawyer talk already. I don't know who Pinchy Productions is, but he's calling his lawyer right now.
Johnny. It's Johnny
Johnny.
Not Good.
So he's on the
Red
phone
legal action.
already. I guess I got to stop talking.
I'm like, I hope it's not nice.
He uses Trump lawyers, right? He's got Trump's lawyers. Is that?
That's right. We're all going to sweat hair gel from whatever he was sweating.
So we may have to plan a situation where each Not Good over the space of a month, maybe gets a chance to tell their version of the story for a few minutes on the show.
And not to mention, by the way, Tomo, not good. Is that what you said? Tommy
Not Good, yeah.
Tommy Not Good. So Tommy Not Good is a brilliant artist. I would love to just show some of his stuff that he does. Amazing stuff.
He could probably be a very funny guest. He's a psychiatrist, which in layman's terms means he's your strangest friend.
Right.
He's literally crazier than any musician I know. I think he became a psychiatrist so he could be among his own.
Right. One of those.
The disturbed people who need help. But he's also he's a great song. He's written songs with me. Great lyricist, great poet. He's kind of a Renaissance man, and his art is amazing. He sells his art for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Y'all talk for a second. I'm about to lose my battery power, and we're way over time.
I think we should be. I think we're like super. But since Paul's gone, just real quick, then I did give Paul, thanks to Jesse, a copy of Pan's Labyrinth.
Okay.
You have it in my voodoo.
I do. So
there's your Spanish lesson. You guys were complaining about no Spanish. Me teach you guys Spanish. This is Pan. Guillermo del Toro, right?
Yes.
The director.
Yes.
He's the one that did. He's the one that did the Hellboy movies.
Right.
So this is
Pacific
his
Rim. He's done lots of one of the Blade movies.
This is his movie. So it's in Spanish.
And this is like one of his. This is his Lord of the Rings, right? This is his basically.
Well, this is his. What made me laugh about this story is he one time left his note for the movie in a cab. The whole diary and everything he had in the movie in a cab, and the cabbie actually went back and returned it to him. So,
wow.
I mean, that was just lucky there. Somebody could just sold it and made millions or whatever, right? But he got lucky. So there's your Pan's Labyrinth. Also, they also made an announcement that Loki's going to start coming out on Wednesdays and not on Fridays.
Interesting.
So,
Wait a minute, Loki's got a series?
Yeah. At the end, during Endgame, he got away during Endgame.
Like Loki.
I know, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
So remember in the Endgame movie where he took the cube and he disappeared? Do you remember this at all?
He probably needs to watch it again.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, to watch it again.
Watch Infinity War first, though. Watch Infinity War.
I haven't gotten that far. I'm watching in order.
Yeah.
Don't interrupt me.
And Endgame is the end.
I tell you what, I couldn't rewatch Thor Ragnarok though.
You really don't get the humor?
He's funny. I tell you this, he grows into the role nicely. He gets funnier as each movie goes along. But I don't want to see some big blonde guys and ninnies. And I like Loki. He's a weasel and he's funny.
Well, he's all over Ragnarok, right?
Yeah, I liked it for that. But
and what about Banner? You don't think
I have to say, even back in the '60s in the comic book store wasn't my favorite.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense.
Right.
You don't have to like it all.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta let you go. I gotta do
Same
stuff.
here. I think we need to roll, right, Paul? It's been a nice long show.
Yeah, we got to go. We've been a long show, and then we've kept our people longer than they need to be kept with this.
Don't forget the pages, guys. Don't forget to like the thing. And you know what, Mike, you might want to put a hashtag cosplay under it, and maybe people.
Yeah, I'll give that a shot. And also, let's see if we can't trend hashtag Superman lives. Right? Let's
I guess I'll have to add. We thought I used to put it on Instagram that we were doing this, and after a few episodes, I told Mikey, "We're two old guys. Instagram's for young people. They're not going to watch it. Just post it on Facebook for the old people that because we're two old guys talking about shit. And if you're a young person on Instagram, you pop into this for about 5 seconds. And then make more interesting,
Hey, listen, if Tucker Carlson could get people to listen to his shit, our shit's much more better.
Well, let's not get started on that third burglar.
I just said he's a comparison. That's all.
And yes, I mean, we could get thousands of hits just by not being Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, well, it's one of my great aspirations in life is to not.
Yes. And we'll leave it there with that.
All right, I'll see you guys. Have a nice weekend. Have a happy Mother's Day.
Clueless in Chicago. See you, Mr. Clueless in Chicago. Yes. Buddy. And here's some outro music for everybody. See you next time.
All right.
in a cookie jar. It was shaped like a cat, it was a present from my brother. I read a lot of books, but I couldn't see between the lines. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. Well, her hair is as black as an alleyway, and it used to be red, and it used to be blonde. Truth is, her hair changes color all the time. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. Well, I'm staring at her shoulder, but it's not what I see when I hear two fellas fighting in the booth across from me. So I wipe away the ashes from an empty counter seat, and I wished I wasn't homesick, I wish I was asleep. Well, I hold her like a blanket up against my chin, and I need her like I need another pack of chewing gum. Well, we used to be like that, but now we're like this all the time. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind.